Now we're going to talk about getting on a little bit advanced here in a way on how to get a kind of some jazz sound into your playing. Not going to sound too far out or anything like that. One of the ways that jazz players get harmonic richness in their chord progressions and in their single line playing is to substitute one chord for another chord. And usually the chord that is being substituted in has some notes in common with the chord it is substituting for. And so there are some overlapping notes, and so you're not going totally to some foreign chord or foreign scale. The granddaddy of all of those, the basic jazz substitution, is for a dominant 7th chord, D7th in our key of G that we'll be at right here. You can substitute the minor 7th chord that is built on the 5th of the dominant chord in question. So we've got a D7th. Us country players are used to playing root and 5th all the time, and so we know the 5 is right there at the A. And so you can substitute an A minor 7th chord for a portion of the D7th chord. And so what you get is, instead of this, you get, using the A minor 7th chord, you get doesn't sound too far out or weird or anything like that. And so as a guitar player, you can do that same thing. Over the D7th chord, you can start off with a A minor 7th type run and then switch over to the D chord to complete going on and resolving to the G. The notes of the A minor 7th chord are A, C, E, and G. The A, of course, is the 5 of the D chord, and so that's going to fit. The C is the flat 7 of the D chord, no problem there. The E would be the 9th as to the D chord. If we keep on going 1, 3, 5, 7, skip 8, play 9, that's going to be the note E. That D 9th chord is a chord that we use a lot as a dominant type chord, especially in blues. The 7th of the A minor 7th chord is the note G. Normally not a great note to play over a D chord, but you're not going to be parked on it for very long. It is our target note. That's what the root of the chord we're going to ultimately resolve to. All of the notes of this A minor 7th chord are notes that are contained within the D dominant scale anyway, and so it's not like we're introducing a entirely new scale. We're just selecting out some notes and emphasizing some notes that you might not emphasize if you were thinking in terms of a D7th chord. And so sounds pretty good. You could use that idea even in playing on a cycle of fifths in right or wrong, for example. Remember, the chords are going to go from E7th to A7th to D7th to G. And so on the E7th, you could start off, its 5th is right there, which is the note B, the E. For the A, start on the minor chord on its 5th, which is E. There's our A chord, and then for the D chord, start on its 5th, which we have done before. The actual scale, if you were to expand that A minor 7th arpeggio, minor 7th arpeggio, and play a whole scale, that would be the what is called the minor 7th scale, or the Dorian scale. It is the same as you get on the 6th mode of the major scale. Excuse me, the 2nd mode of the major scale off the 2 chord here. Because indeed the A minor, as you know, is the 2 chord in the key of G. And I'm mentioning that because if you look at jazz books, you will see that there are whole chapters and indeed whole books on playing this chord progression, the minor 2-7, 5-7, 1 chord progression. And if you're going to do those studies and really play jazz, then you learn that minor 7th or Dorian scale from its own root, so you can play it any time that you want. A common jazz device is to take cycles of that 2-7, that minor 2-7, 5-7, 1 through various keys. The tune All the Things You Are takes you through a variety of keys with 2-7, 5-7, 1 chord progressions. For our purposes and starting to learn it, I think you are fine just knowing what the notes of the arpeggio are, and then thinking in terms of the rest of the notes of the dominant scale that you're going to be going to next. And I'm starting, for the example I gave there, I'm starting on the root of the minor 7th chord, but obviously you can start on any of those chord tones. If you start on other notes, you're going to just sound perhaps like you're just playing the dominant scale, and so you want to give some prominence to those notes of the minor 7th arpeggio, so it will really sound like you're doing something. So you might try putting that in on some of the swingier sounding modern country tunes you play. On the Nightlife, for example, on the "Oh, nightlife ain't no good life, but it's my life," I'll put in the D minor 7th right before the G at the end of the progression there. It may give you a headache trying to figure out how to do it and remember which minor 7th arpeggio to play on the different chords, but after you get it, you'll find it's a lot of fun and sounds real neat.